Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Whale Fam. We have a very special project showcase tonight with PixaLyfe, and I'm very excited to have them here. We did a stream last week with Marbles, where we were doing the showcase with the Pixa Wizards. And so we have PixaLyfe here, which is actually a duo. It's a traditional artist and engineer duo, and they are here. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
We're excited.
Thanks for having us. This is great.
Super excited to have you here as well. And I'm very excited. I know last week, as I mentioned, we did marbles and we did some wizard giveaways, and people were very excited about that. We had a great turnout from the whale community as well as the PixaLyfe Discord. And it was super great to connect because I love both communities. They're both very welcoming and helpful, and they're full of amazing people. So this is great. That was one of the things that drew me to your project.
It was so much fun last week doing that. And it was, we were so impressed, with we'd never really done, we'd never seen that before, virtual marbles. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people enjoyed it, and it was I think it was new to a lot of people on our Discord too. So that was a lot of fun to combine kind of both communities.
I agree. It definitely was fun, and looking forward to future events as well. And I will say that we had definitely some new wizard owners join, and let's see if I can get a picture of one of the Pixa wizards up on the stream. And this is one of the wizards that I actually had adopted from your Rarible account. And of these, there were 1,000 total wizards. Do you want to maybe tell us about the wizards and how did you get started? Like, what is the beginning of PixaLyfe? Maybe that's a good way to look into this.
So this goes back like a little over a month ago when we had kind of discovered NFTs, and I remember being up late looking at some, I think it was like tweets from Mark Cuban actually, and that's kind of how I had been introduced to this, was through that. And then I was telling my girlfriend, we were both looking through it and trying to figure out, learning about exactly what NFTs were. And we kind of we'd come up with this idea for the Pixa Brews, which are pixelated beers that, some are loosely based off of beers that we've tried. We travel a lot, and so that's kind of where that project came from. And it was immediately, through Discord and Twitter, we found a lot of people that loved the project and gave us a lot of advice too. That was super cool. That whole community was really supportive of us and was just trying to help us get better at what we were doing. And then we had kind of come up with, we really wanted to do some sort of we're both kind of nerds and want to do some sort of fantasy thing, and came up with the wizards, and just kind of combined.
It combined. It was a good team, being able to use my artistic side and his more technical side. And it's been a lot of fun to work on.
Yeah, pixel art's kind of new to both of us, and it was cool to get into because it's nostalgic of the games we grew up on with Pokemon and Zelda and that kind of stuff. So it was just a lot of fun. It was really cool that people jumped on it too, and were really excited about it as well. So that's kind of the background of where we came from. But we've pretty much just been living the NFT life through the last month and a half. It's been good.
Nice. And so you are, I would say, pretty new to the scene, which is exciting to join and have such success already. Which, look at these wizards and these brews. Like, this is so cute. And we have, when you were creating the projects, because so far you've done brews, which you said are, loosely based off of your life experiences and traveling and kind of things you've encountered. And then you've got the wizards. Like, how did you come up with all of the various traits and the ideas for the designs? What's your inspiration there?
So honestly, we just sat down for like a week, and it was kind of organic. It didn't really, we both, I was saying, like, we're fans of Zelda and just Nintendo type stuff in general, kind of that old school gaming scene. So that's kind of what inspired, I guess, probably the design.
Yeah.
And then the actual, we just kind of came up with ideas. I don't know how to describe. We just sat down and did it.
Nice. And they've got, I think they're really cute because we have not only, the pixel wizards where they have, these variety of backgrounds that are, distinct and have varying rarities, but they also have different accessories and they have different clothing. And then they have animated items that they're holding, whether they're the wands or the potions or the magical staffs, or even the super epic pyro swords. So, that's interesting. And I think that's a fun twist on what currently exists, I think, for a lot of the mainstream type pixel NFTs. Is a lot of them were static images, and granted, I think maybe that's partly because a lot of them were older, but you've taken that another step and also added in the animation to the pixelation, which is a very interesting thing. Is that something that for future projects you think you'll continue doing, or I guess what are you looking at for future projects?
Yeah, I think we'll for sure continue to have movement in them, and we will be releasing our first creature series, which is a part of the PixaVerse, coming out really soon.
Yeah, and this is kind of the first time we've been talking about an actual release date. So we're going to release the name of what the creature series is going to be this coming Sunday on March 21st. And then we're going to have the designs and kind of teasers the following Sunday on March 28th. And then we're releasing, we're going to do our first drop of those on April 4th. So basically the next 3 Sundays, there's going to be information coming out about our creatures. And that kind of also was part of, when we were designing this, we're talking, we wanted to create more than just, I want to create like this world aspect to it, where we can kind of expand and kind of keep adding things to this to these worlds we kind of created, and that's kind of that's our first thing we're coming out with, but we're going to continue to slowly come up with more factions and creatures over time.
Ooh, and that's super exciting. We have a question from chat too, asking if you're planning on creating things like set bonuses or rewards for filling in sets, because there seems to be some thought about having wizards, maybe in these other places, or perhaps wizards and brews together.
Mm-hmm. So there is going to be, definitely with this next creature release, there's going to be an incentive to hold on to a wizard or and there's a couple other things that we're going to come out with over the next couple of weeks. We'll give more details on, but there's definitely going to be a reward for, holding onto a wizard, and there's going to be an aspect of it where the type of wizard that you have may influence the type of creature that you get. And so we're still working through the details of how that's going to work, but it's going to be interesting. Hopefully it'll be kind of a personalized, or in a way that basically the wizard that you hold kind of influences the creature that you get. So that might be kind of cool.
Ooh, and that is interesting, having that programmatic type of relationship.
For sure.
People who have their deck chair wizards perhaps having some very, unique creatures. That is definitely a fun thing, because we've seen that, right? Like in the PixaLyfe Discord, there have not only been the wizards, that you created with their, traits that are part of the wizard themselves, but people are adding on, new community traits and meanings to these. There's some of the very basic wizards, and they're deck chair wizards, and how, I guess, as you've seen this evolve, is that, I guess something that you anticipated happening, and how, have you been working with that as you've seen the community creating their own lore around this?
Well, it's been so cool because we had kind of purposely done that, and we were hoping that was going to happen, but we didn't really. We weren't really sure. It's kind of difficult to gauge how much interest there was going to be off the bat, but we had built in, kind of thing. We had explained a lot of the trait distributions, the major traits, but we had not explained some of the minor stuff and kind of more Easter egg type things that we included. So we were hoping people were going to find them. And there has been a few people in our Discord that do a very detailed job of going through it, and it's
been really fun to watch those conversations happen. Just how excited people are about it is really cool.
It is definitely. That was one of the things that really caught my eye when I joined the server and saw how excited people were about not only their own wizards, but how excited they were about other people's wizards as well. And having that strong community feel and people creating these stories that were inclusive of, these other wizards, and
for sure,
kind of, having that greater lore grow out of the project.
Exactly, yeah. And that's where, we'll continue to add on to that in ways, adding creatures and adding and continue on with the same kind of development of being able to let people kind of figure certain aspects out on their own of where they want to take these creatures or factions or wizards or all the things that we're going to do, and I think a lot of people like that. It becomes kind of a game, right? You're searching out you're mentioning the deck chair wizards. It's kind of cool how something like that pops out of when people are looking through them and trying to find their collection or what they want to collect. And it's just been really cool to watch.
Those have been fun, and it's nice to see all of the wizards kind of all over social media too. I've noticed that more and more they're scrolling across my Twitter timeline, and I'm seeing all sorts of fun there. And so with and I guess yesterday too with the brews, there were quite a few of those going around, which is appropriate given the holiday. And so
yes, and we released a St. Patrick's Day brew that's available on OpenSea right now to celebrate that day. So yeah.
I think we can find that here via your website, which I've got pulled up. So you've got the full Pixa brews here. There it is. We have the Ultra Brew 10. As well as...
And that was kind of something you brought up earlier, the animation part of it. When we had done the Pixa brews, they're static, and that was kind of something that we learned from it too, is, what else can you add on to pixel art that adds a little bit more, makes it a little more interesting, and we had messed around with how to do this in Python, which is what I code this stuff in, and we got it to work, and it's been great. We really want to add on some aspect for each one, for each collection we come up with. And then the one thing too with the brews is that we're releasing our first rare brew tonight, and it's going to be on auction after the stream, and there's only 10 of them in the whole. So if you scroll up on that page, there's some information at the top about the rarity aspect. So there's going to be 1,000 pixel brews, 100 ultra brews, and then only 10 rare brews. So tonight we're releasing our first rare brew in the collection. So keep an eye out for that. And, And it's going to be a bit of a shout out to our wizard collection as well. So it's going to be a theme there. So yeah, go take a look when we post it after this.
That's super exciting. So having the, not only are you doing new things, but we're releasing that right after, so we can all be excited about this and then see what it is. The first of the rare brews. I don't know if people will be able to contain their excitement.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And so we've got the brews, and those are, from what I've seen here, it looks like they're kind of an ongoing thing. With the wizards, there were a maximum of 1,000, and those have been minted, and, that's kind of where we're at. But with the brews, you have this list of how many are going to be released, and they have a much longer release time, because there's 1,111 total, but it's over the next year. It's not like the wizards who are all out right now.
For sure. And the strategy with the brews was, we did it was a 1155 token on OpenSea. This is when we were really just starting to get into it, and it, we learned a lot from that. I think some people enjoy more the collectability aspect of the token itself, so that was kind of why we went with a more, the ERC 721 standard for the wizards, which is just easier to track and stuff on the blockchain. But then with these brews, our strategy is, we're just going to come out with them slowly over time, and they're all handmade, and we kind of wanted to base some of them off of the brews that we've tried in our travels. And
we've been talking with breweries too. We want to get more community involvement going with this project, so we're hoping to do some collaborations with breweries and feature some of their actual beers, which is really exciting.
Ooh, that would be really exciting. That would be fun, because that would be there's definitely a lot of market, for the local breweries and craft beers and things like that. So to get that onto the blockchain, you have a lot of fun potential there. I'm excited to see that.
For sure, especially with kind of, we live in Canada, and we're in an area of Canada that has a ton of small microbreweries, and I think it'd be pretty cool to show their stuff to the world, and they pretty much are not exposed to anywhere except our local area. Just kind of get, show their stuff off for a bigger audience. It'd be pretty cool. So
that would be super cool. Yeah, I actually live in Michigan, so we have a lot of those microbrewery type, things going on here too. It's very similar. It's like Canada Light. And, so I see the potential there for sure. That's exciting. And so these are the ERC 1155s. And then the wizards are 721s, which, is, I think, pretty standard for a lot of the NFT collectibles, at least that I've have experience with. But what are we looking at to, if you're able to release the information, what can we anticipate for the Pixa creatures that are coming out?
So there'll be 721 tokens as well. We might mess around with the contract a little bit before, and maybe we had released the wizards through Rarible. Now we might do something a little bit more custom, depending on if we find the right people to help us do that. But overall, yes, it'll be a 721 token for that. And then the collection number is going to be less than what the wizards was. So we're talking more in the hundreds rather than 1,000.
So not all wizards will have a pet? Oh my goodness.
I know. There'll be multiple creature collections though, so I'm sure people will get the one they want.
He's my Sterling wizard. He's 925, so I've named him the Sterling wizard. It's the first time I've shared it with people, but his beard is appropriate, so he needs a pet.
Perfect.
For sure. I know everybody is very excited. We had PixaLyfe777 in the chat too, so give them a shout out. And with these, there were actually people in Discord that were talking about a game that, eventually may be a thing here. Is there anything you would be able to tell us about that? Because you have the whole like Pixa world or Pixa universe.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking for?
So I think probably the way we'll go about it is we're going to try and get some kind of game made first that is a little bit more simple, more of kind of an arcade type game. But long term, we really want to build a really cool game, a lot more complex long term. So that's kind of we don't really have timelines on that. We're still looking for the right people to be able to put a couple of these things together. But overall, we're trying to really want to give people some sort of game soon that is a little bit more simple, more like an arcade type game. And would be verify your token to be able to play it. So it would be kind of an exclusive to whoever owned a PixaWizard to be able to play this game. And then long term, we definitely want to make more complex gaming experience with all this that takes place in these worlds for sure.
And I'm excited to hear that, because having the, as you mentioned, an arcade style game, I think that really lends itself to the graphic style. Having, these pixelated, and I'm thinking of, like even the classic, maybe 70s, 80s arcade games. You've got Pac-Man or, the movie Wreck-It Ralph. Having those sorts of environments. I think this is definitely very reminiscent of that and would do well in an arcade style game before, as a starting point, as you mentioned, for building it out later.
Yeah, for sure. And it'd be kind of cool to see, if you have the token verification part of it as well, maybe only those, wizards can play it, or maybe you get a boost or some sort of bonus if you own an actual wizard. There's a lot of different things we can mess around with that development. And I know it's exciting. I think people will be really excited when we get that all figured out, hopefully really soon.
That'll be good, because you'll have, as you mentioned, kind of a lot of different levers that you can pull for verification and, different bonuses, perhaps depending on what tokens you have or what attributes those tokens have. There's
exactly, for sure.
That's really exciting. So one of the things that, given that you said you've, been at this about, a month or, I guess a short amount of time, has the response that you've received been something that you expected? Like, is this, when you started, you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. And, what was your expectation versus how it's turned out so far?
We're just kind of
blown away with how it's taken off. It's really amazing. And we were hoping it would be a hit, but I don't think we imagined it would be this big, this fast.
And even this is more from a technical standpoint, but just being able to roll the project out like we did and mint the amount that we did, it really depended on us keeping momentum with people being interested, and I'm just so happy it never seemed to be ever a question whether or not we were going to hit 1,000, because there were so many people interested, and it was amazing. When we hit 1,000, we were just blown away that there was so much support, and And we also, we learned a lot from talking like this. We owe a lot to a lot of people for helping us make decisions, helping make decisions, helping give us information, the right way to do certain things. And yeah, it's been an amazing community that's helped us a ton to be able to get the project out the way it did. So yeah, I'm very thankful.
We have questions in the chat now. People are wondering if they can also expect PixaOrcs and PixaElves.
There will be factions released for sure, and we kind of have a rough timeline on our website. It's in our white paper, so we kind of have the next year planned out.
Yeah. We haven't said what those factions will be yet, but there will be more coming.
Yeah.
So we have on the screen the white paper, which was created February 28th, not even a month ago. It's so soon, and you've done so much. You minted 1,000 wizards.
It's been an adventure for sure.
Amazing. We'll have factions, which is exciting. And it looks like folks are looking at what's currently available on the market. Gandalf the Grey has informed the chat that there's still about 300-ish wizards remaining on the marketplace, and then some on the secondary market as well. So
yes, that's exactly. Thanks, Gandalf. That's perfect.
And so there's also some friendly banter going on. People rooting for their PixaOrcs, taking out other people's Pixawizards. So you haven't even released them yet, and they're ready for battle. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that'll be fun to add more factions over time, and I guess that's also what we wanted to say today too. Is we want to do, like, this is a long-term thing for us. We're having so much fun doing this. We're just going to continue coming out with content, over the next year and years to come. And we're just so excited to be part of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely super exciting. I'm excited that you reached out to me and we were able to share it with the community, because this has been a fun adventure for sure. And, getting the wizards, and I was like stalking your Rarible page when you were doing the was like, I'm in. And I did not get any of the Caverna environments, which I was a little bit bummed about. Someone else is faster than me there, but
we were impressed with your Rarible skills. It was people on our Discord were like, "Wow, she knows what she's doing for sure when it comes to sniping wizards off Discord or off Rarible."
Scrolled very fast. Yes, I got the Pyro wizard and I got a rainbow robed wizard. So that was pretty exciting. I had a couple on my checklist, but I did make sure to read the website and the white paper, and I was looking at the distribution that was here before. So I had seen some of the distribution information before I started looking into my wizard purchases.
Yeah, and
did my research.
That was a cool thing to put together, was the distributions, because we had read a lot about, and this was kind of the idea of wizards too, is that we're off, they're all going to be the same price. They're going to be a little bit more accessible than something that's, the big collectible right now is obviously CryptoPunks. But we would read a lot of the chat going on the Larva Labs Discord about combinations of different traits and you see like Gary Vaynerchuk saying, the Purple Hat Club and that type of stuff. And it's exactly what we wanted to happen was, we want to create these variety of traits to find them. the distribution of them fairly well, but also let people kind of find their own collections within what we've kind of defined. And yeah, and then things like the deck chair wizards becomes a thing, and that's pretty cool.
That is cool. It definitely is nice that people are able to, not only appreciate wizards because of their, distinctive rarity, but also define new ways to admire them and define them.
For sure. Yeah. It's been cool to watch.
It has been. So what else? I know that, we've gone over a lot of the wizards and also the Pixa brews, and we've discussed some of the, upcoming Pixa creatures. But what else would you like to tell us about all of the exciting things you have going on? Like, what questions have I not yet asked you that you're like, I'm waiting for you so I can tell you?
So the one thing, do you want to take this? So the one thing we are working on getting, we're developing a better website, which is kind of going to be centered around this interactive component where you can scroll through all the wizards, all 1,000 wizards, and click on an individual one and be able to see things like bids, sales, the whole history of when it was minted, when it was transferred to different wallets, and whether or not it's kind of available for purchase by whoever's reselling it. So it's going to be very similar to, if you're familiar with the CryptoPunks website, where they have that interactive map of punks. We're going to have a very similar interactive component like that, and yeah, so that's the big thing that hopefully will happen very soon.
Yeah, it's in the works, so that should be happening really soon here.
Yeah, in the next week or two, hopefully we'll be up and be able to be used. So yeah.
And will that be on the current website, or is there a new link that we should prepare ourselves to be refreshing?
It'll be on the same website. The design of the website will probably change a little bit to accommodate it, but yeah, definitely that's going to be it's a short-term goal for us, which is just improving the website and making it a little bit more user-friendly for getting information about each individual wizard for sure.
That will definitely be exciting, having know that I struggled during marbles to search for wizards on rare ones. Finding the specific ones. It will be a portal where I can just directly summon them to look at.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, what else do we have to say? Yeah, just I guess repeating just that the creature collection is coming out soon. We're gonna basically every Sunday for the next 3 weeks, there's gonna be something announced. So this Sunday is the name of the creature. Next Sunday, March 28th, is the design, and kind of you'll see some images and teasers. And then April 4th is when the first drop will happen, and definitely there will be an aspect to this where people who own wizards will be rewarded for in some way. Yeah. Either that's a draw or some sort of if the creature has an aspect to it that is similar to the wizard. There's a lot of different things we're talking about with that. So definitely stay tuned to that.
We will be tuned. We'll be staring at your Twitter. Yeah, I would say you do a very awesome job with managing the Twitter and keeping a lot of notifications going out. And it definitely has been, one of the aspects of your project that I've been super impressed with is how interactive you are there.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's definitely keeping people updated and with the all the information is important, and we're happy that I think we got some feedback too. Like, this has all been such a learning experience. It was good that we did the kind of Pixa brews first, because that project we could fairly easily kind of learn from it and change it a little bit as we went along. But we learned a lot of the social media aspect and keeping people informed from that, and definitely put it into the Wizards. So yeah, it's been great.
And now we have Grevinator in the Discord chat. I'm not sure if you're watching this or not in the whale stream text. Asking the serious questions like, if a wizard owns a lizard, is he then a Liz wizard?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll leave it up to the community. It was pretty funny earlier today. There was someone that came on that was posted their project of collectible pickles and talking about how there can be pickle wizards and maybe it was pretty funny. There's a lot of discussion around this stuff. So.
There are also questions about when we're going to get some lady Pixa wizards or Pixa witches, or my personal request is for the lady dwarves. That's also a conversation here, which could have beards. So
that's definitely something that we've talked about and will be a part of the projects going forward. Yeah.
Perfect. And also Gandalf the Grey has asked when we get to name our wizards.
So that's being looked into. We've been contacting multiple people to try and figure that out. And we'll have hopefully some more information over the next few days about how that would work and when that would happen. But yeah, we're trying to find someone that we trust with messing around with our contract. So probably more information will come out in the next few days. So.
Perfect. So we will most definitely keep an eye on that. And Heather has asked, and this is something that we touched on a little bit earlier, actually, but wondering, about gamifying your collectibles in some way. So you had mentioned, doing this is, I think, really important to recap for people who had missed it, because it's really the exciting part, right? Being, having the first steps of looking into arcade style games and then having the growth into a more, I guess, depth game and universe.
For sure, yeah. Like that's a massive goal for us, is that we want to make some sort of gaming experience. And I think splitting it up where we say, we're gonna develop something that's a little bit more tangible, like a smaller goal first of like making it more of an arcade game and getting it out quicker, so that people can actually enjoy it sooner, and then focusing on a bigger game long term is that's the kind of strategy we went to try and make sure people are getting something out of this other than just the collectability aspect, right?
Hello.
Hey, did something happen there?
I think we lost rudem00se, but she should be back very soon.
Sounds good.
I've actually been scrolling the site here and looking for wizards myself, so
Perfect.
And she's back. Look at that.
There we go.
I am back. Sorry, I don't know. The internet was like, haha, this is too much hype. We can't handle it. So, that's where we were at currently. But it's okay. We'll bring back the wizards as well on the screen. And I was very excited that Heather asked about the gamification, because that's something that I think is really exciting, to be able to have you, creating all of these different aspects of a universe and then, combine them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, like that's and it's a way that you can add value to owning a token, kind of regardless of the collectability aspect, right? So that's kind of the way that we it's definitely one of our top priorities, is making a game so that people can use these tokens. It's a value for the people that bought them, and you're able to play this game that is either exclusive to them, or you're there's some sort of aspect to the game that is exclusive to wizard owners. And that's definitely important to us to do. So. I think we might have lost her again.
We might have. But it's good because there's no weird audio feedback loop going on, so that's exciting. Yes, we did. Yeah, so I'm just going crazy just scrolling through this site. It's really cool. So I'm excited. I think this project is really cool, and I love what you're doing with pixels. And I kind of am partial to the bad creatures, so like orcs and skeletons and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. I'm really excited to see what you come up with next.
For sure, yeah. Well, we're so excited to add more factions and creatures, and yeah.
We have a lot planned going forward. We're excited to share it with you guys.
Well, I did have a question myself while we were just coming back. Can you tell us a little bit about how you worked on the contract? Because of course, contract stuff is kind of hard for layman's like me. And how did you get into learning about how to do? Is it Solidity that you used?
So when we started this, we knew absolutely nothing about Solidity or contracts or anything. All we knew was we got some good advice from multiple people that a 721 contract is a little bit more, it's a lot more trackable in terms of minting through Rarible and getting basically the individual token for each wizard and being able to track the history and when it was minted, when it was traded, when it was sold. And that was pretty much our baseline knowledge for a while until recently. We've been really researching how to do this ourselves because of some, there's certain advantages of being able to do things off your own site and being able to mint or sell off your own site. And certain things you can include in the contract that allow you a lot more flexibility. So a good example of that recently is, and I haven't, hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with this person soon, but the Nifty Dudes project, I don't know if you guys have, it was that they built their own website where you could have different traits actually chosen by the user. And that was really, really cool. And they included a number of things in their contract where they could adjust after, such as the naming aspect, different traits, and they included skills, which were based on a variety of different combinations of traits. And definitely that's a project we've been looking at a lot to try and learn from, to try and include in our stuff in the future, because we thought that was super cool. We bought one and yeah, I just thought we were really impressed with that. So I have more of a technical background with Python coding and stuff, but trying to get into Solidity a little bit hesitant to do it by myself. But yeah, we found some people that are helping us out with that. So it's good. It's a new thing to learn. It's awesome.
And that is awesome. And I'm kind of geeking out a little bit because you mentioned skills and stats and whatnot, and I kind of imagine when you said that maybe something with like a DMD theme or something along those lines that might be really fun with these. So I am looking forward to seeing what you put together for sure.
Yeah, it's there's so many different ways you can custom. I was with those smart contracts, like it's pretty amazing how much how you can make each contract kind of custom to what you want to do. And I think that Nifty Dudes project was just a perfect example of that. Yeah, like there's definitely an inspiration to try and add a little bit more complexity going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
we had a. I'm back. I've foiled the interwebs by using my phone hotspot. So there. But we had a couple questions in the chat. Is there going to be community voting for which factions come next?
So
we have talked about that. Yeah, I
think that'll be an aspect of it for sure. With this initial creatures one, we've already kind of decided on the direction with that, but for sure after that, there will be a community aspect to it for deciding which ones. And there will be a community aspect for the creatures too. If you own a PixaWizard, and this is kind of a cool thing about our Discord, is that if you go on and you own a wizard, you're able to verify your token and get a wizard role, a PixaWizard role in our Discord. So that will probably play a role in voting for certain things. So it's another thing that comes along with owning a PixaWizard is the ability to get access to these private channels and giveaways, and we run some cool games recently. We've been doing what's called we call them PixaWizard scavenger hunts. So we give hints about certain wizards in our collection, and people have to find the one that we're talking about. And if you find the right wizard and DM us the right ID number, then you win a Pixabrew. That has been a hit.
It's been really fun to do.
Yeah. People get them way too fast though. It's crazy. People we need to make it a little bit harder.
Yeah, using the OpenSea search features is definitely helpful for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Couple, I was like, I'll just try scrolling through Rarible, but it did not do me any favors. So It's been fun watching everybody participate there.
Yeah, and we're gonna come up with some more things as well, some more events for our Discord channel. So definitely join that if you're listening and want to join. I think we talked about it last week with during the Marvels thing. It's like the whale community and our PixaLyfe community is very this is positive and everyone's just having fun, which is nice. It's a nice change for the internet. We've been amazed by the type of people that come on, and yeah, it's been great.
Yes, I agree. It definitely has been, with both communities. It's a refreshing change of pace, and I put a link to the Discord in the Twitch there, and put it in the Discord stream text as well. So that way anybody who's not yet in the PixaLyfe channel can get themselves invited.
Perfect.
And it looks like we've also, Grevinator has run out of wizard jokes. So that's impressive that we've tired him out. His last one asked why are wizards good at fishing? Because they're expert casters. Had some wizard puns going. I told him that's why my internet died. It's okay because we have lots and lots of awesome things going on with your project, and we've got the Pixabrews that we are going to keep an eye on after the stream ends tonight, because you said there's a new one coming. So we have that.
Keep tabs on that for sure.
Yes, so we have tabs on that. We have, still some wizards looking to get rehomed on Rarible. And then we have the next 3 Sundays. We're going to be keeping an eye to wait for the Pixa Creatures announcements.
Exactly.
Which is super exciting. All right, so I know we're nearing about an hour mark for the stream here. Is there anything else that we need to go over before we end for the night? Anything that I missed, or you're just excited to share with everyone?
Honestly, I think we've covered all of the stuff that we wanted to cover. We're just we just want to say thanks to thank you to all of the people.
Yeah, thank you for having us on here, and to everyone that's made this possible. It's been an amazing experience. We're excited to keep going forward with it.
Yeah, we just can't believe we've only been, this has been, we've constantly been talking about and doing this stuff for the last month and a half, but when you sit back and reflect on it, it's pretty amazing. The amount of people that have supported us and just been so helpful. We're
grateful.
We're so grateful, for sure.
And that is fantastic. Like, I think that's really reflective built too, it's just so positive, and it makes me want to give everybody a high five. So thank you for coming and sharing your project and your future plans with the community, and having both the whale fam here as well as in the chat. That's been super awesome that you all have come to participate. And we also have another wizard pun. I don't know if you've seen this in the chat, asking why did the wizard go to the doctor? Because he had a staph infection. Really terrible pun laugh here. So yes, we have. I think it's awesome that the project has also provided the opportunity to make many wizard puns. This gives our dad pros in the community a little bit of exercise there. So this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Could start minting wizards with their own puns even.
Yeah, exactly.
This will be good. All right, so we'll get the one last reminder, I think, out that everybody should, definitely hit up the PixaLyfe Discord. Grevinator, I'm not telling jokes in a funny manner because they're very. But definitely, like I said, everybody should, if you're not already in the Discord, make sure that the PixaLyfe folks are rolling out, because I think it's really exciting. Not only that they've, created these really neat projects, but they're awesome people and have created this, kind of refreshing to see in the space. And that's the thing that I was most excited about, when you reached out a couple weeks ago and we were able to do the stream last week, and having you here today has really been awesome. So thank you both for, coming and sharing your project information with us, and sharing your community with us as well. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be tuning in for Marvels this week.
We will end the stream for now, and we will keep tabs. And as you're rolling out, nice. We will definitely be ready, and then we can keep an eye as you start rolling out the leaks for the Pixa creatures too. This will be good stuff. Thank you both, and thank you everyone who's been hanging out with us. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.